Okay, people. So, July 19th, same day. Apparently the city was by today. Andre was out here playing with his little friends. He's actually been playing with them quite a bit. So, it's been working out really good. And you can see they have all in here. There's a little girl and two little boys that live over there. So, if they're not playing in the front on their side, they're playing in the back. And the children were in here today. So you can see everything's like tossed around, right? It looks like they were even tossing plants. I don't know. This is my daughter. She does this stuff all the time. It drives me nuts, right? But anyway, Jerry got injured. He injured himself with the cell phone somehow. And he hasn't been able to work on this, but I wouldn't have allowed him to do it anyway until I got rid of this hornet's nest, which should be gone by now, right? Unless they came back to rebuild it. It took about 4 nights to get rid of it completely. Right, so now I can get in here and clean this out and wash it and do whatever, and as Jerry gets better, he'll come and he'll finish this, right? Obviously, the kids are scattering things. Oh, sorry. Kids are scattering stuff around, so I don't know what this guy was thinking when he came, because Andre offered to go and get me, and he said no. Andre asked him if he was going to take a picture, and he said no. So, I mean, as it is right now, it's not perfect. Right? And like I said, I'm not going to really wash these toys and put them away until I have my shelving in the shed. Jerry said he's going to put some shelves in here for me, right? And he's making a little cubby in the roof, a little crawl space. That little, this, it would be like just enough to put a few boxes of something or whatever, and I'm going to make it rat-proof. I found 3, I think it's 3. I'll have almost just enough for the ground here of this metal stuff. I'll show you. I just have to drag it out, right? It will be enough just to run the 3 strips and a little bit of chicken wire if I need to. And I'm going to make this room rat-proof, right? And I don't know, hopefully it will, these might have to go. I might have to put wood on the inside to prevent raccoons from getting in. Because nothing like having a shed. Things are stored for the winter or whatever, and then you come in and you found that there was a rat in there. Right? Pissing and shitting and chewing on things. So anyway, Jerry is not well right now, and it's not like I have money to give him too. You know, so it's kind of like everything's just on hold right now. It's not that it's being neglected, right? And like once this little crawl space is made, and then one wall he's going to put a shelf on for me, so I have 2 different levels for the smaller toys. That's when I'm going to wash them. And of course, and I'm even thinking of laying a carpet over this dirt, because I have some old carpets that I was going to use for the hen house area. I can spare one anyway to cover up this dirt to some degree, right? I want to trim down the trees yet, but people, I'm tired. I'm not well. You know, I can only do so much in a day. My daughter and her boyfriend, my younger daughter and her boyfriend did wash these ones, but again, we're not putting anything in until I can, well, one, get into the playhouse, because one of those things can go nicely into the playhouse, right? I have to build up the floor in here, make it nice. The little girl will really like it. Well, they'll all like it. All the children will like it. I've got a big bin of, what do you call that stuff? Play food that I don't necessarily want to get all dirty, but I'll give them some of it. And then, because my neighbors did give me this wood, this is a lot of wood, people. Right? But I had to wait till the hornet's nest was gone. Look at all this wood. They gave me this wood. Yes, it's going to be an inconvenience to clean off the raccoon poo. But this is going to be beautiful to make these flower boxes, because I can make a couple of flower boxes right in here, right? It's a little hard to water it, but we'll figure out a way. I can give the kids a bucket of water and they can water it, right? And they can plant their own flowers in there. You know, maybe make another flower box in there or something, right? So anyway, I'm all stressed out because, you know, like, are they going to come with the city truck? What are they going to take, people? Andre's old toys that is going to be washed within the next 3 to 4 weeks? There's a tarp over it, but he keeps going in there and grabbing them out. I keep putting them in, right? You'll see after this is done, everything's washed, you'll see a big difference. But again, it's not instantaneous, right? I can't control my finances. I can't control the people that do the work if they get injured, right? I can't control the size of the yard in terms of the amount of time that I'm required to spend time elsewhere, because last time they were bugging me, it was more for the front, right? This time is this part in here, which is, it's not a, it's a different aspect, right? There's no children that live down there. They live in there. That over there, like I said, never moves, right? Mine moves around all the time for whatever reason. So anyway, I'm working on it, okay? I'm not going to get stressed out over this. Hornets are gone. I was canning yesterday. I guess I'll add that canning onto this little video, because I have to preserve the food, because I need food in case of an emergency, or I just need food in general, right? And I like to have food security, okay? This is almost done. This is where a lot of this wood is going to come. But as it's coming over, I need to wash it first, right? And if it's coming over, it's best to build the flower boxes as they're coming over. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, before you start doing this, maybe you should be thinking about building the box as it's being pushed over the fence. And then this way, you're not going to have a whole bunch accumulating in the yard, right? And then people will use that against you, right? I'll wash this up. There will be fun in here for these children once it's done. Part of the reason that these things don't grow is I don't give them enough water. Right? They don't get a lot of water on this side. We don't need to do a yard check, people. Okay, and since I'm adding the video I was working on yesterday as I was canning, this is just straight up raspberries, didn't take out any seeds, and that leftover orange pulp, juice, and rind. It's pretty good. This is the rhubarb with the orange. If I was making jam, I personally don't think I cooked it long enough, just because it took so long to do the rinds that I was just getting kind of annoyed with everything, and I was getting tired, and it just was spitting all over the place real bad. But outside of that, it tastes really, really good. I don't know what I said in my videos. It was 2 quarts of rhubarb, a couple tablespoons or so of shredded orange peel, the orange pulp, out of 5 oranges, 2/3 of that, and lemon. Well, I didn't put lemon in it. And what do you call it? The rest of the orange juice. So, and I don't know, I think I only put about 4 cups of sugar, 3 or 4 cups of sugar. Right. And there's the candy, and it's pretty good if you don't mind citrus. So when you boil it 3 times, you do want to kind of boil it for a little while, because it takes an awful long time to cook the rind. So first boil, I'd boil it. Like I said, there's a book around here. I'm sure it's more than just bring it to a boil and rinse it, and then bring it to a boil and rinse it. I'm pretty sure it's boil it for 10, 15, 20 minutes, then rinse it, and then do it again, and then boil for another 10, 15, 20 minutes or whatever, then rinse it. Do it 3 times for sure, because even after you do that, and then I put it in 2 cups of water with 2 cups sugar, boiled it down, and then it still needed more water, more sugar, boiled it down, and you're supposed to have the rind go translucent. But by this time, it was like if you were making, what do you call that, ketchup or something. Like, it just, like, hours and hours and hours later. And plus, I was trying to can, too, with just 3 burners instead of 4, so it wasn't exactly easy. These are in the dehydrator. I want them more crunchy. When you bite into them, right now they're soft and chewy, which is okay. But because they're so tart in terms of the peel, right, then it's just, it kind of reminds me of like a cold remedy, right? In terms of like soothing the throat, or we definitely know that there's still vitamin C, a lot of vitamin C in this rind. So for nutrient wise, even with the sugar, it's still very good. And even though you boil and boil and boil and rinse and boil and rinse and boil, it still retains the vitamin C, because you can taste it. You can taste the bite of the peel, right? Personally, like I said, I want them a little harder in terms of being dehydrated, so I'm going to put these back into the dehydrator and make them a little more crunchy, right? I want them crunchy. These are too chewy right now. So that was interesting. I really need to do this more often and just nibble on them throughout the day. I don't know if Andre will eat them because of the tartness, but for some, like an adult that's trying to boost up their immune system, or, you know, bring in extra vitamin C or A or whatever it is, you know, and fight off infections, I would say this is a good way to go. Okay, people, July 18th, 2017. This is the last, pretty much, of the raspberries. Maybe another half a bowl. I'm not going to bother cooking up those ones. As a matter of fact, I should go outside and see before I start cooking up these. So this is going to be the last batch of raspberry jam. This time I'm not going to take out the seeds. And then as I'm doing that, I'm going to make some rhubarb, just straight up rhubarb with a little bit of sugar, can it like that. But I'm also going to try and attempt to make rhubarb jam. But as I was thinking about that, I'm thinking, why not do rhubarb and raspberry jam together, right? So I may make 1 or 2 jars of that, just kind of mix them up together, right? And then because I want to try this rhubarb jam. This is from my yard. Okay. Cut them yesterday. Picked a bowl yesterday. That was yesterday's find. And so I have to can this because I don't want it to go to waste, right? And then because I want to try jam, I needed oranges. So I asked my youngest to go get me some oranges and a couple of lemons. And boy, oh boy, did she ever bring me some beautiful oranges and lemons. So now, getting near the stove. Oh, I'm going to try and attempt to make candy with the rind. I kind of have the recipe in my head. Can't really remember it. But we'll be back. Hold on. Okay, so this is where I'm at. I shredded 1 orange. This is the way I'm going to do it. And then I took the pulp after I squeezed out the juice. This is the juice of 2 oranges. 1 that I shredded and 1 that I cut in half. And then I took out the inside and I cut it up into little pieces. Right? Whatever. I still have 1 more to do and I'll fine tune it, right? I peeled all the oranges, I peeled the lemons. These rinds are not as thick as I thought they were, but they're pretty healthy. So, I'm still going to try and make candy. I washed them in baking soda. Preferably, you'd want organic, but in this case, we're just going to use that. I got a lemon for that lettuce that's growing in my yard, so after I get this stuff done, I'll go get that lettuce, because I haven't gotten it yet. Maybe try and make myself a little salad or some kale or something with some lemon. And there's some oranges there for Andre or whoever, right? I mashed the raspberries, you can see, so you can go by cup, right? Just to get a general idea of what you're doing. And then I cut up my rhubarb, which is a fair amount. It's over 1 quart, so I'd say almost 2 quarts, right? And then I'm going to make, because I got my jars now boiling, so they're ready to go, right? And there's like 7 pint-sized ones in there, so I kind of want to, I don't think these 2 would be enough for 7, right? So I kind of want to maybe do the rhubarb, get it ready, put it on the back. Well, my back burner doesn't work, but take it, you know, just put it off to the side with a lid on it so it stays warm, right? And then work on the raspberry part, right? And now it's just a question of how I want to do this. So, in terms of rhubarb jam, you use orange juice. I read a recipe online, but I'm too lazy to go look for it. So I'm just going to do it the way I want to do it. So I'm going to use I think I'm just going to cook it all up and just make, because I still have rhubarb canned from last year if I want it for pie or something like that. I think in this case, maybe I'll just try and make jam. Because once it starts cooking down, it cooks down really fast. So I'm going to probably cook up all that in the one big pot with the majority of that and a fair amount of that and some sugar. And that will be the rhubarb jam. And then whatever's left over in terms of this stuff, a little bit of that, and whatever left over orange juice, I'm putting it in with the raspberries. You can actually mix rhubarb with strawberries and oranges and make conserve. So I don't see why you couldn't mix the two of them, raspberry and rhubarb. But anyway, we'll be back. Okay, so I did 2/3 of the orange juice, the rind, and the pulp. So they got this got 2/3, that got about 1/3 of each. Right? And now I'm going to just make straight up jam with that. Here's these rinds. So what you do, off the top of my mind here, is you boil them 3 times. Now mind you, these aren't very thick. At least the orange peels aren't. So I maybe just 1 or 2, well 2 times anyway. I don't know about 3. The lemon was a little more tougher, so definitely 3. And then after that, well, I think what you do is you sprinkle them down with sugar and you just simply dehydrate them. I can't remember. I have to look for the book. Hold on. Oh, and this is all that there was for waste. Okay, people, this is how I'm doing it. I got the stove on 3. I brought it to a boil, whatever. It takes a little while for rhubarb to break down completely in terms of cooking. If you were canning it, just rhubarb by itself with a little bit of sugar, you don't have to bring it down to that, right? You can leave chunks in it. But in this case, I'm making a jam, right? So before I put the sugar in there and bring up the heat to thicken it up for jam, I am going to just continue cooking this down until all those larger chunks of rhubarb are dissolved. And as you can see, I'm getting on to the first boil of this. I'm going to find a lid and I'm going to put a lid on it. And then you boil it for a while. And then you rinse it and then you boil it again. Right? And like I said, I may end up boiling this. I'm looking for the book. Obviously, I moved my book. I got several books. The books I'm looking in right now, I can't find it. So I don't know. I may have to Google it. I'm pretty sure it's just boil them, boil them, boil them. And then after they're boiled, you coat them in sugar and then dehydrate them. Hold on. Okay, so I took a potato masher to it. So now what you're getting is something that looks almost like applesauce. Right? Obviously, it's not thick enough for jam. You can see that. Right? It's on low right now. I changed the water. It boiled. I let it boil for about almost 10 minutes. 8-10 minutes, whatever it was. When I pour it out, it was, you could tell, right, that the oranges were in there and whatnot because the water was discolored. I think what happens is with the water boiling, it was you're taking out the tartness out of the rind, right? I mean, obviously, you're probably taking away a lot of nutrients, but at the end of the day, you know, normal sugar is the best kind of sugar when it comes to sugar, right? In terms of, like, candy. So, hold on. Okay, so I was right. You boil it 3 times, right? And then after you do that, you strain it for the 3rd time. You know, you strain, you put clean water, you bring it to a boil it for a bit, strain it, do that 3 times. And then after you strained it for the last time, you put it in 2 cups water with 2 cups sugar, and then you boil it down until your rinds in the inside there is going translucent, clear, right? And then after that, you take it out, you can dust them up with some more sugar, you can eat them like that. In my case, I'm going to dehydrate them. Hold on. Okay, so now this is the last time in the sugar water, right? 2 cups water, 2 cups sugar, and you boil this down until you see this part, the inside, not the outside, but the inside where it starts to become clear. How long that takes, I don't know. All right. So we're just going to cook it on 5 for now as it boils down. I'm going to take a break for a few minutes, and then I'm going to use this burner to finish off this stuff, right? Because the jam itself won't take no more than 20 minutes or so to make. The jars are already cooked, disinfected, so they're in the pot hot. As you can see, I'm not using this burner, right, because it doesn't work. Preferably, I would prefer to have this pot on the back burner and this one here, but it is what it is, right? And then I'm going to end up putting 2 or 3 cups of sugar. Let's start with 2 first. Taste it, more than likely 3, right? You can go up as much as 4 to make jam, right? And bring it to a, not a high boil, because this stuff really spits. So I don't know what's going to happen when we put the sugar in, but we'll find out. Hold on. Okay, so as you can see, the sugar solution is boiling down. I have it on 3 right now. And the rind is starting to go slightly translucent. Right? That's why I turned down the heat, because we don't want to boil it down too fast. So just keep boiling it, move it around with a fork. Right? I got the dehydrator tray ready. Andre says he doesn't want them all dehydrated, so we'll see. Hold on. Okay, so I tasted it, and the rind is quite bitter and tarty, as orange rinds would be. No, maybe I ate the lemon one, I don't know. But either or, I drained out what was left in terms of what boiled down. I didn't rinse it, I just drained it. And then I added 2 more cups of water and 2 more cups of sugar. And I'm just going to boil it back down. And by that time, you see how it's going translucent? Right? This is what you kind of want. This one right here. Ugh. Anyway, you can see it's kind of translucent. Right? And being that there's so many that's not, I thought it wouldn't hurt to do it again. So, whether Andre eats this or not, I don't know. It's something I might snack on just for the vitamin C. Maybe it was the oranges, I don't know. So I'm just going to bring it to a boil, and then I'm going to turn it back down to 3, and I'm just going to simmer it back down. Hold on. Okay, people. Quite the detour. Anyway, as you can see, I put it on a dehydrator tray. Excuse me. Right? Sprinkle a little bit of sugar on top. I'm going to dehydrate them, and then after they're done, sprinkle a bit more sugar. I'm going to take this syrup, and I'm putting it in with the rhubarb. Hold on. Okay, so now I'm cooking up this rhubarb. I put 2 cups of sugar in there. Isn't very much. And whatever leftover syrup from that orange peel and lemon rind candy, right? Which kind of reminds me like a cough syrup. So I got it in the dehydrator, those candy rinds. And right now I got this cooking at 9, right? Just to thicken it up a little bit. And then I'm going to take it off the burner, put a lid on it, put it on a wood board. And I'm going to quickly make up the jam. And because I got 7 jars in the canner reheating now. They've been in the canner since I boiled them. But I'm just heating them up, right? Getting them ready. Right? So this is the same concept, right?